There are two aspects of our existence. One is the physical body and the other is the spirit or soul inside the body. This body is a subtle body and indeed is so subtle that it cannot be seen. It is present in the form of an energy. It could therefore be called energy body. Consciousness, on the other hand, is the elementary awareness that you exist and how your existence will be continued. Every living being, from a single-celled amoeba to a complex multicellular human being, which is you, has this consciousness. Consciousness is the awareness of our and the world's existence as experienced through our five senses. Normally, we are aware and conscious only of our physical self, how good we are looking, how we can improve our looks, what comforts can we acquire, etc. That is all very well, but we need to shift this awareness to our spiritual self as well, as to how I am feeling, what I am thinking, what is my essential nature, how far am I going away from essential nature because of the external circumstances and situations. For instance, I may suffer from a trauma because there has been a loss in the family. Now I have the choice of either keep on ruminating as to what happened and generate negative feelings within, maybe repeatedly, or I have the choice of remembering my true, peaceful, powerful self and remain calm and unruffled. The question is, why at all do we require soul consciousness? Well, that is a good one. What, after all, is in it for us? Why do I need to understand this? The goal of human existence is to be peaceful and happy. We already know that the mind is a series of thoughts. These thoughts create emotions and emotions create feelings. In other words, we are what we think. Through thinking, we can be peaceful and blissful, or we can be agitated and disturbed. This is because we keep forgetting our soul's true nature owing to external pressures and situations. We need to reinforce and retain our soul's original qualities of peace, bliss, and power. But in the rush of everyday life, we tend to lose sight of these essential qualities. We start moving away from our true nature, the nature of our soul, the soul that governs the state of our being. It naturally follows that we have to be continuously conscious and aware so that we prevent any damage to our body by entertaining thoughts that are not peaceful, disturbing, hateful, full of jealousy and other negativities. So to be peaceful and happy, it is necessary to be settled deeply in an awareness of our own blissful and powerful self. Now, how can we become conscious of our souls? That is the question. The only way we can realize that we have a soul is by becoming aware of it. Now, how do we become aware of it? We become aware by developing our awareness and in the process experiencing the power and the blissful nature of the soul through a process of being peaceful. For instance, if there is a pool of water and it is constantly moving in waves, then we cannot see our face in it. The water has to be still so that we can see our face. Similarly, our mind has to be still before we can feel and experience the power of the Spirit. To be able to have soul consciousness, we need purity of thoughts, meaning being free from any negative thoughts, feelings, or emotions. This is because the soul is essentially a kind of energy. When we have toxic thoughts, emotions, and feelings, that pure energy gets dimmed. It is as if there is a mirror and it has not been cleaned for a long, long time. So we need to clean it to be able to see our face clearly in it. Similarly, to be truly aware, we need to have a consciousness without negativities. When we are disturbed and agitated, you would notice that you have very low levels of energy. You somewhat feel helpless and unable to cope with the situations. You may feel angry and frustrated, but to be aware of the power and energy of the inner soul, it is certainly possible. The process is to concentrate, focus, stabilize ourselves, and observe our thoughts in a quiet state. Through this process, we can become free from useless thoughts, anxieties, tensions, and confusion. The only way to realize the existence of the soul is to experience it. When we have clutter in our mind of high velocity negative thoughts, our awareness will remain at a very gross level. We cannot experience the qualities of the soul if we are in an agitated and disturbed state. The soul can be perceived only through a peaceful mind. The body goes through a number of experiences through the day. Disturbance takes place mostly because of external circumstances, like somebody said something nasty to us, somebody did not wish us properly, and so on. So this will disturb us, and unless we have a deep connect within ourselves, we will keep on wallowing in a disturbed state for a very long time. So this means that when we entertain negative thoughts, then we are in a state of body consciousness. For instance, we are very much aware of our position, our status, and so on and so forth, and therefore we get disturbed easily. One can realize that one has a soul by becoming conscious of it. This consciousness can come about only through a process of deep observation of yourself in a detached manner. When a person is able to reduce the thoughts, mental agitations, and sensory experiences, then one can observe the presence of this energy within the body. Meditation is the best tool for developing soul consciousness. When consciousness expands in a state of meditative awareness, suffering gets reduced because the meditator no longer identifies himself very closely with the objects in the external world, situations, or persons. He can then acquire a certain degree of purity of consciousness. When he is no longer emotional in his thoughts about his possessions, positions, and relationships, naturally his suffering will stand reduced to that extent. With increased awareness through meditation, we can discover several thoughts lurking in the subconscious mind. These thoughts are there mostly without our being consciously aware of them. We are not aware of them. Some of these thoughts will be turbulent, or they will tend to rob us of our peace. Once we go on witnessing the domain of our awareness during meditation, the intensity of these trouble-causing thoughts will gradually dissolve into our consciousness. In this way, they will no longer trouble us because they will expand into the consciousness.